"You're fired. For helping the wrong person. That wasn't your place." Mark's voice cut through the restaurant like the crack of a whip. The clinking of silverware stopped. Conversations froze. A tray of half-filled glasses slipped from a waiter's grip in the corner, crashing to the floor. Every head turned. Eyes locked onto Anna like she had set the building on fire. She stood motionless, her tray balanced perfectly in her hands, though her fingers trembled just slightly. A wave of heat flushed through her chest, but her face, trained by years of holding it together, remained still. Across the counter, Tracy leaned in with a smug grin, arms folded like a victor claiming her prize. "Sweet job, Angel," Tracy sneered. Her voice dipped in honey and spite. Anna didn't flinch, but deep inside, a knot twisted. Tracy was just waiting for a crack in her armor. "Maybe next time," Tracy added with a smug sip of her iced coffee. "Keep your halo out of other people's messes." She turned away with a flick of her ponytail, like Anna was nothing more than background noise, like her fall was long overdue. Anna's eyes drifted to the entrance, hoping to find the man she'd helped, but he was already gone. Slipped out unnoticed, quiet and polite, like a ghost in daylight. No one else had spoken to him. No one cared. No one saw how his calm eyes softened when she brought him water, or how he whispered, "Thank you," like it genuinely meant something. She hadn't known him. Not really. But something in her gut had told her it mattered. And now, she was paying the price for listening to her instinct. Later that evening, Anna stepped into the silence of her small apartment. The air was still and too cold, the kind of chill that lingered even in summer. She kicked off her worn shoes and let her keys fall onto the chipped countertop. The weight of the day sank into her shoulders like wet cement. The scent of old lavender detergent clung to the fabric of her apron as she pulled it off and hung it on the hook by the fridge. Her eyes landed on the envelope waiting on the table. The bright blue logo in the corner was unmistakable. Power Company. She didn't need to open it. She already knew. Still, she did. Her eyes scanned the total, pausing, then dropped to the due date. A slow exhale escaped her lips. Her fingers clenched the paper just enough to crease its corners before she gently folded it and slid it beneath the fruit bowl, where overdue bills silently waited their turn. In the back room, her mother's cough echoed through the apartment, dry, strained, and tired. A painful reminder that illness didn't care how hard you worked. On the kitchen table, Jake's textbooks were sprawled open, highlighted and marked with notes. He had class tomorrow. Law school was a dream they were all betting on, a dream that came with a price. And then there was the insulin, the prescriptions, the doctor visits, each one another line on Anna's growing list of things she had to hold together. She whispered to herself, "One more shift, one more check." It was a mantra now. Survival wasn't about thriving. It was about not falling apart before the next paycheck. She couldn't lose her job. Not now, not like this. Before the sun even hinted at rising, Anna was tying her apron again, her fingers moving mechanically. The restaurant kitchen smelled of fryer oil and burnt toast, permanent, clinging to every surface like smoke after a fire. She clocked in and glanced at the task board. Her name was scrawled across every slot. Dishes, orders, cleanup, double table rotation. It was the heaviest load. Tracy stood nearby, sipping her latte, acting like she'd stepped out of a slow Sunday morning, not a double shift. "I swapped with you," she said flatly. Not a request. A declaration. "You're better at the heavy stuff anyway." Anna walked over to Mark, calm but worn. "Can we adjust the schedule? I've got a long one today." Mark didn't look up. He muttered, "Figure it out," and walked away. By 7:30, the crowd had grown thick, the line snaking out the front door. Anna carried a tray stacked with 4 plates. Her arms ached, but she kept moving. She always did. Smile first. Pain later. That was the rule. She didn't complain. She never had. Tracy was at the front, laughing too loud at something a man in a designer jacket said. Her tray was empty, but her lipstick was perfect. She leaned in, tapping his wrist with a polished nail. "You must hear that all the time," she purred. "Extra cheese, just like your smile." Anna weaved through the maze of crowded booths, tables overflowing with families, spilled drinks, requests for napkins. At a far corner, a man in a torn hoodie waited silently, eyes on the floor. She knelt just slightly and smiled. "Hey there, want some water while you check the menu?" He nodded without looking up. She placed the glass down gently, adding a slice of lemon. A small gesture, but a human one. Tracy rolled her eyes one table over. "Charity shift today?" she muttered. Anna said nothing. Kindness wasn't for show. She believed in it, even when no one else seemed to. Then, the chime over the door rang. A man walked in, pressed shirt, dark slacks, quiet steps. No watch, no phone in hand, just calm eyes and observant stillness. Tracy glanced at him, then returned to her phone. Kyle pretended to be busy with ketchup bottles. Mark didn't even glance up. 30 seconds passed. Still, no one moved. Anna wiped her hands on her apron and approached him. "Good morning, sir. Welcome to Grill Haven. Can I help you find a seat?" He looked at her. Something in his gaze, careful, deliberate. "It's nice to finally be noticed." She smiled, gentle and genuine. "Let me get you a menu." As she walked away, his eyes followed her. Not with lust or curiosity, but with interest. Quiet, calculating interest. Jackson, though she didn't know his name yet, took a seat by the window. "Coffee in hand," he observed. He watched Tracy fawn over a man in a Rolex. Kyle joked with a woman in heels. A customer in faded jeans waited 5 minutes without acknowledgement. But Anna? She never stopped moving. Water refills, silverware changes. Every task handled without needing to be asked. Her pace was swift, but she never looked rushed. She reached Jackson's table with a fresh pot. "Would you like a refill?" He looked up, studying her face. "You always this attentive." She shrugged with a quiet smile. "I just try to treat people right." He nodded, as if filing her answer away, as if it mattered. And soon it would. Jackson didn't say another word, but he kept watching. Everything. His eyes followed each small gesture, each interaction, not with judgment, but with a thoughtful stillness. Meanwhile, Mark loomed by the kitchen doorway, arms crossed, a scowl set deep across his face as he watched Anna refill Jackson's coffee. Her posture was composed, precise, and professional, but his jaw clenched tight, as if even the act of her showing grace was an offense. Across the floor, Kyle leaned toward Tracy, voice pitched just low enough. "She's wasting her time," he muttered. Tracy scoffed, her voice a mix of disdain and faux pity. "That guy's not gonna tip. Watch her act like she's saving the world." Anna didn't respond. Maybe she hadn't heard, or maybe she had. Maybe she heard it all, and simply chose not to let it sink in. Instead, she walked a fresh stack of napkins to a young family juggling toddlers, crouched down to clean a spill without being asked, and offered a kind smile to a teenager nervously fumbling his menu. Then Mark finally moved, his step slow and deliberate as he passed behind her. His shoulder grazed hers, not hard, but firm, intentional. "Stay in your section," he growled low. "You're not here to babysit strangers." Anna didn't look up. Her fingers stayed steady on the tray, but something shifted deep inside. A slow, quiet anger. Not the kind that lashes out, but the kind that settles in, waiting, sharpening. In the kitchen, the floor near the sink glistened with grease. Anna tread carefully, balancing 2 plates on one arm while reaching for a towel with the other. Her body moved like it always did. Calculated, disciplined. But then Tracy came up behind her. Too fast, too close. A nudge. Subtle but intentional. Anna's foot slipped, The plates shattered. Her elbow struck the tile. For a second, the kitchen went silent. Then Tracy gasped, full of false concern. "Oh no, you okay? That floor's a mess." Kyle looked in but said nothing. Anna sat still, her breath shallow. She rose slowly, her movements tight and controlled. She reached for a rag, wiped up the spill. Blood streaked her forearm. Her hair clung to her face. Her eyes glistened with tears, but they didn't fall. She didn't look at Tracy. She didn't speak. She just cleaned. Pain didn't matter. Pride didn't matter. Rent was due in 5 days. The restaurant eventually emptied. Chairs flipped, lights dimmed, most of the staff gone. But Anna stayed behind, quietly wiping down the last booth. She straightened with a wince, stretching her back, then heard footsteps. Jackson stood near. No clipboard, no questions, just presence. "Thank you for today," he said simply. She blinked. For what? He looked around the now quiet dining room, then met her eyes. "For doing the right thing, even when no one's watching." A small, uncertain smile tugged at her lips. Her hands still smelled like bleach. He gave her a slow, affirming nod. "The world needs more people like you." Then he walked out into the night. Anna remained there, hands by her sides, a warmth blooming in her chest she didn't expect. She couldn't explain why it meant so much, but it did. The next morning, before her shift even began, she was called into the office. The hallway felt colder than usual. Her hands were still damp from washing produce. Mark sat behind the desk, arms folded, face unreadable. A letter lay between them, crisp and cruel. "This isn't easy," he said, though his tone was effortless. "But we've decided to let you go." Anna stared at the paper. She didn't reach for it. "Why?" Mark didn't flinch. "You're not aligned with the company's values. We need consistency, not distractions." The words stung sharper than she expected. No warning, no conversation, just a sentence, a verdict. She nodded slowly, swallowing the ache in her throat. She wouldn't give him her tears. Not here. She folded the letter once, carefully, and walked out. No outburst, no pleas, just silence. One night ago, someone told her she mattered. That morning, she was disposable. Back home, Anna sat on the closed toilet lid, her phone pressed to her ear. "Hey, Jake, how's the test prep?" His voice was bright, filled with the kind of energy she used to have. "Pretty good. You sound tired. Everything okay?" She smiled, though it strained her cheeks. "Just a long shift. You know how it goes." She didn't mention the envelope in her bag, or the way the office door had clicked shut like a lock on her spirit. "The scholarship come through yet?" she asked. "Not yet, but I'm close." "Good. Keep pushing." They hung up a minute later. She sat still. Then the tears came, quiet, warm, relentless. The tile floor beneath her was ice. The light above flickered faintly, and she cried behind that door because even hope, somehow, felt too expensive now. At 8:03 a.m., her phone buzzed. Unknown number. Something in her gut said to answer. "Hello?" A pause, then a voice. Calm, familiar. "This is Jackson. We met at Grill Haven 2 days ago." She sat up. "The coffee order," she said, almost breathless. "That's me," he confirmed. "I wasn't just a customer. I own the chain." Her breath caught. "I'd like to meet with you," he said, "if you're open to it." She looked at the folded uniform on her chair, the one she wasn't allowed to wear anymore. "Why?" she asked softly. "Because I saw something worth keeping," he said, "and I think your story's not finished yet." He gave her the name of a nearby cafe. She hesitated, but only for a moment. "I'll be there," she said. The cafe was tucked quietly between a pharmacy and a florist. Anna arrived early, her fingers curled around a cup she hadn't touched. Jackson walked in right on time, no assistant, no pretense. "Thank you for coming," he said, taking a seat. You said you owned Grill Haven. I do. I founded it 15 years ago. She blinked. That detail rewrote everything. I watched how you worked, he continued. How you stayed composed under pressure. How you treated people, even when it cost you. She looked down. It didn't feel like it mattered, she whispered. It did, he said gently. It does. He slid a folder across the table. I want you to manage the location you just left. She stared. The one that fired me? He nodded. Exactly that one. Her heart raced. She hadn't dared to hope, but maybe part of her had. Anna walked home with the offer echoing in her ears. It felt surreal, like a door had opened in a place she'd thought was only a wall. She sat at the kitchen table. Jake's book still spread, notes scribbled with purpose. Her mother's cough faint in the distance. She had every reason to say no, pride, fear, doubt. But deeper than that was something stronger, a quiet belief. Maybe this time she could write her story her way. The next morning she signed the offer. No ceremony, no announcement. Just a signature and a steady hand. She wasn't going back for revenge. She was going back for change. And when she stepped through those doors again, she wasn't staff anymore. She was the one setting the tone. The doors to Grill Haven opened at 9 a.m. Sharp. Anna walked in, crisp shirt, hair tied back, folder in hand. She didn't pause, didn't look around like a guest. Tracy froze mid-sentence. Kyle dropped a spoon. You're back? Tracy asked, trying to sound casual. Anna nodded. Good morning. A new assistant manager greeted her with a clipboard. Welcome, Miss Brooks. Jackson said you'd be taking over today. Kyle leaned in toward Tracy. Where's Mark? Transferred, the manager said. Corporate decision. The room felt different. Same walls, same lights. But something had shifted. Anna walked through the kitchen with quiet authority. Eyes followed. Whispers stirred. The girl they tried to erase had returned. But this time, she held the keys. By day 3, the smiles had faded. Orders backed up. Fries arrived cold. Tickets stalled. Anna noticed everything. But when she checked the logs, everything looked perfect. Too perfect. Tracy leaned near the soda machine, whispering to Kyle. She thinks she's running the place now. Let's see how long she lasts. Kyle didn't reply, but he didn't walk away either. Stations were messy. Deliveries misplaced. Labels vanished. Anna gave clear instructions, but chaos crept beneath the surface like mold. She didn't yell, didn't accuse. She stayed steady, but she saw it all. This wasn't incompetence. This was sabotage, and she was ready. The resistance didn't stop. It came like a tide, quiet, unspoken, and always creeping. Behind the kitchen door, Tracy's voice slithered through the clatter of dishes. She talks like she's management, she said to no one in particular, but she still folds napkins like a waitress. Let's see how long before she cracks. A few chuckles followed. Not loud, but sharp enough to sting. Kyle didn't join in. He stared down at the scuffed tile, hands jammed into his apron. Silent. Anna noticed. She always noticed. The greetings that once met her each morning had gone mute. Glances darted away when she entered the room. Smiles dried up. Orders slowed. It wasn't rebellion. It was erosion. Subtle. Measured. Designed to make her question herself, task by task, shift by shift. And it was working. But Anna didn't show it. If anything, she grew more focused. The more they pulled in shadows, the more she observed in the light. A family at table 4 returned their food twice. They'd ordered steak. The receipt showed chicken. Anna checked the order history herself. It matched what was delivered. Yet it was still wrong. Minutes later, another mistake. Then another. She stood at the monitor, eyes flicking across logs, searching for patterns she couldn't quite grasp. Her chest tightened, a coil of tension winding deep. She turned to Kyle, her voice even. Did you enter this one? He didn't meet her gaze. Maybe, I don't know. Could have been Tracy. Right on cue, Tracy appeared, ticket in hand, lips curved in artificial concern. "Something's off with the system," she said sweetly. "Orders are getting jumbled. Could be a glitch." She tilted her head, playing innocent. "Just trying to help." Anna stared at the screen. Everything looked perfect. And yet nothing felt right. She didn't accuse anyone. Not yet. But the doubt began to curl inward, not in the software, but in the hands that operated it. That night, long after the last customer left and the kitchen lights dimmed to a low hum, Anna stayed. Alone. She pulled up the logs, scrolling through each line with clinical precision. Numbers, timestamps, edits. Something pulsed beneath the data like a hidden heartbeat. She caught it. One order had been changed, resaved, then printed. Within seconds. Only managers had that access. Or someone who had the password. 3 log entries bore no username. No trace of who logged in, just empty tags, phantom fingerprints. Her pulse quickened. This wasn't random. It wasn't error. It was manipulation. Intentional, coordinated, sabotage. She printed the logs, highlighting inconsistencies with a steady hand, her mind racing. Someone wasn't just trying to trip her. They were rewriting her credibility line by line. Kyle had changed too. He moved differently now, quieter, more withdrawn. He didn't joke. He didn't linger near Anna. He cleaned what was already clean. She noticed. Of course she did. At the register, a woman frowned as she tapped her card. "You guys used to be faster." Anna smiled politely, but the comment stung. Kyle heard it. He busied himself wiping down the counter, eyes low. Later, Anna asked gently, "Everything okay?" "Yeah, fine," he replied too quickly. His fingers fidgeted. His tone was hollow. She didn't press. But she saw it, the shift in him. Guilt or fear, or maybe both. For the first time, the cracks weren't just around her. They were within. During lunch break, Anna made calls. One customer at a time, her own number dialed. No scripts, no corporate spin. Just raw, unfiltered honesty. "I'm sorry your last visit didn't meet expectations," she said, over and over. "That's on us. I'm working to fix it." Most were surprised. Some were kind. One hung up. But when she reached a woman named Mrs. Ellison, the voice paused on the line. "You're the one who served me, aren't you?" Anna hesitated. "I might be. I work most shifts." "I remember you," the woman said gently. "You refilled my tea before I even asked. You're not like the others." A smile, soft and real, broke through Anna's exhaustion. "Thank you," she whispered. "Don't let them wear you down," Mrs. Ellison replied. "Some of us see who's really trying." In that moment, Anna didn't feel invisible anymore. Then the lunch rush hit like a freight train. Orders stacked like bricks, burgers missing toppings, drinks swapped, fries gone cold. Voices rose across the room. "This isn't what I ordered. I've been waiting 20 minutes. Where's the manager?" The line wrapped past the door. Children cried, soda spilled, napkins fluttered across the floor like white flags in a storm. Anna moved fast. She reprinted tickets, offered apologies, handed out free drinks. But the chaos kept growing. A tray tipped, a cup shattered. A voice barked above the noise. Tracy stood at the prep station, arms folded, watching it all collapse. She didn't move, didn't speak. Kyle ducked his head, eyes flicking between Anna and the floor. Anna's voice rang out, strong and clear. "Team, regroup, now! I need eyes up and hands moving!" But the room stayed loud. And for a moment, Anna realized this place didn't belong to her yet. It was slipping. Until the bell above the front door chimed, soft and subtle. Jackson stepped inside. He said nothing. He didn't wave, didn't interrupt. He stood quietly by the entrance, hands in his pockets, watching. Around him, everything unraveled. Angry customers, stressed staff, orders toppling like dominoes. And yet his eyes found her. Anna. She didn't see him. Not yet. She was everywhere at once, guiding a new hire back to the line, calming a furious customer, fixing a receipt, grabbing a mop. Her face was taut, her jaw locked, but she didn't fold. Jackson didn't need to ask what happened. He came to see how she led when it mattered most, when no one was listening and everything was breaking, especially then. Anna pulled her hair back, sleeves rolled to her elbows. She grabbed a pitcher of water, filled glasses before they were empty, passed out refills and clean trays. 2 cheeseburgers, no pickles, 1 vegan wrap, table 5. She moved like a conductor, into the kitchen, tossing cold buns, dropping new fries, barking sharp orders. Focus. 1 order at a time. Fix it now, not later. Kyle blinked, then nodded. He moved. A new hire grabbed a tray. Even Tracy hesitated, caught off guard, and stepped forward. Within minutes, rhythm returned. Orders came out hot, plates landed right, voices calmed, customers sat down, a child laughed. Anna didn't stop. Not until the line was gone. 10 minutes, that's all it took. And from the doorway, Jackson smiled. Not because the chaos was over, but because he'd just seen what real leadership looks like. Not loud, not flashy, resilient, unbreakable. And Anna? She was still standing, not luck, not chance. The restaurant didn't survive because of fate. It stood because Anna refused to let it fall. No panic, no ego, just grit, and the quiet kind of leadership that never needs a title to be seen. At a corner table, a man watched as Anna delivered a fresh plate to a mother juggling 2 restless children. She bent down slightly, offered a warm smile, and thanked them for their patience. Then, without missing a step, she moved on. The man leaned toward his companion and said, loud enough for others to hear, "She should have been running this place from the start." Another customer nodded. About time someone actually cared. Jackson heard all of it. Still near the entrance, hands in his pockets, he watched her thank the dishwasher by name and adjust a menu at the bar. Then, without a word, he turned and walked out. She never even saw him leave. But he had seen everything he needed to, and the rest of the room, they were starting to see it too. Later, Anna pored over the system logs again, line after line, and there it was, the pattern. Edits made seconds before tickets printed, all pointing to one user, KCrew21, Kyle's ID. But it wasn't anger that filled her chest. It was something colder, a silence. She didn't confront him at work, no public display, no dramatic speech. She simply called. He picked up after 2 rings. "Hey," she said calmly. "We need to talk, just you and me, off the clock." A pause, then, "Okay." No threats, no accusations, just the truth face to face. They met in a quiet diner. 2 mugs of untouched coffee sat between them. Kyle's hands were tight fists. His eyes never settled. "I didn't mean for it to go that far," he said. "Tracy said it was just to slow you down, that maybe you'd quit. That was all." Anna didn't speak. He swallowed. "But she's not the one running this." Her voice sharpened. "Then who?" Kyle hesitated, then dropped the name like a weight. "Mark." Anna froze. "He's still in contact with Tracy. Private calls, messages. Said you weren't ready. Said that store was his." Anna leaned back, breath slow and deliberate. "Mark's gone." "I know," Kyle whispered, "but he's still pulling strings like he never left." The puzzle came together. Tracy was the noise. Mark was the shadow. So Anna gathered the team. No preamble, just facts. She opened her laptop, pressed play. Mark's voice, clear and incriminating. "Just slow her down. Don't make it obvious. Keep the pressure up and eventually she'll fold." "She always folds." Tracy's voice followed. "She's too stubborn." Mark again. "Then break the system. Make the data collapse. She can't survive if the numbers fail." Gasps. A chair scraped. Tracy's face drained of color. Kyle stared down. Anna scanned the room. This wasn't miscommunication, she said. It was betrayal. No yelling, no fury, just truth. And truth didn't need volume to echo. One by one, heads dropped. Kyle was first. I knew it was wrong. I just didn't think it'd go this far. A dishwasher muttered, "She told us we had no choice." Even the new hostess, barely 3 weeks in, whispered, "I didn't know what to believe." Anna let the silence settle. Then Tracy stood, flushed, angry. "Oh, now you all grow a spine." She looked around. "You're really doing this? Turning on me?" Silence. Not a single voice rose in her defense. Tracy stepped back, stunned, not by Anna's reveal, but by how fast loyalty vanished once fear did. And then the door opened. Jackson entered. Still, composed, watching. Tracy stopped mid-step. Jackson walked straight to Anna. No clipboard, no speech, just presence. "What do you want me to do?" he asked. The room held its breath. This wasn't protocol. This was power. Handed back to her. Anna lifted her eyes. "I have an answer." She stood tall. "I choose to end every form of manipulation right here, right now." No one moved. No one had to. Jackson nodded, then turned to the group, dialed a number. "This is Jackson," he said. "Effective immediately, Mark is terminated, permanently, no transfers, no return. He does not represent this company." The air shifted. Tracy's shoulders collapsed. No one moved to stop her. Not even Kyle. A corporate rep stepped in. "Time to go." Tracy turned back once, expecting someone, anyone to plead. But the faces had all turned away. As she disappeared through the door, the weight she left behind lifted. Anna exhaled. The storm had passed. Now came the rebuild. Jackson stepped forward, reached into his coat, pulled out a silver key. No words, just a moment. He placed it in Anna's hand. "Now," he said, "this place is yours." The room stirred, whispers, nods. For the first time, relief. Anna held the key a beat longer, then pocketed it. Not a trophy, a responsibility. The lunch rush came, but this time there was rhythm. Dishes flowed from kitchen to table. Kyle worked the grill, quiet and focused. The hostess greeted guests by name. Laughter floated from table 3. A toddler dropped a fork. Someone picked it up with a smile before the mother even noticed. No chaos, just work, real work. Anna moved across the floor, checked plates, gave nods, jumped in when needed, stepped back when she wasn't. A woman waved on her way out. "You've turned this place around." Anna smiled. Not perfection, but something better. Truth. She stood beside a new hire, guiding her on the register. "Take your time, accuracy over speed." The girl nodded, more confident now. Kyle approached quietly. "I updated the inventory. Double-checked orders." Anna met his gaze. "Thank you." No lecture, no absolution, just space to do better. Photos started showing up online. Burgers plated like art, servers smiling, comments flooded in. Same place, but feels totally different. Whoever's running it now, respect. Later that night, Anna found an envelope on her desk. No name, just a note. "I worked here before it all fell apart. Just wanted to say, it's good again. Because of you. Thank you, no signature. Just truth." They met again at the cafe. Jackson, calm. Anna, grounded. "You've done more than fix a store," he said. "You rebuilt culture." He slid a folder across the table. 5 more stores, same problems. I want you to lead." Anna traced the folder's edge. Not shocked, just ready. "Shape them," he said, "not just manage." She looked out the window. The path ahead clear. Not easier, just hers. Later, she stepped through the front door of her home. Jake looked up from his textbook. He stood, hugged her before she could speak. "I saw the post. People are talking. All good, I hope," she teased. "I'm proud of you," he said. "Really proud." She smiled. "You're why I work like I do." "No," he replied. "You're why I believe I can." That moment, The long hours, the tears, the fight, all folded into something simple. Legacy. Not titles, example. An envelope came, no return address. You think you've won? I'm not done with you yet. M. Anna read it, then ripped it piece by piece. No reaction, no reply. She had moved on. She stood outside the restaurant, bathed in golden light. Above her the sign glowed strong. Grill Haven. Her name stitched across her chest. Anna, regional manager. She looked at the doors she once walked out of, in silence. Now they opened because of her. Full, alive. She wasn't just rehired. She rebuilt everything. She was once the one pushed out. Now she's the reason people stay. And if you've ever stood alone, ever been punished for doing the right thing, but still did it anyway, then this story's for you. Because doing good is never the wrong choice. And sometimes, it's just the beginning.